everyone. So today we are coming to you from ME Colombo with a very exciting episode of Chokolaate magazine's In the Spotlight. Now we are here today for something very special, something truly memorable. And Chokolaate magazine has always been about taking young talent, bringing it out to the stage and giving it the platform to shine. No matter what your talent is, Chokolaate magazine has always been about that. But today's guest is somebody very, very special. She started off at Chokolaate a very long time ago, but today she's part of the international world. She has been taking Sri Lanka out to the next level and bringing so much glory back home. And as of recently, she is much more than the titles that she already had. She's also a Guinness World Record holder. Of course, you know who she is. She's the one and only Ornella Gunesekere. Hello, Ornella.
Hello.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm very excited and I'm very grateful to Chokolaate. As always, Michelle and her team have been nothing but supportive of my journey from the age of 16. I'm 28 now, so I've known them for 12 years. And,
It's been a long journey.
Very, very appreciative.
So, yeah, I'm sure our viewers are waiting to hear all about your record. So you brought so much glory to Sri Lanka. It's a feat that's very rarely achieved all around the world. So could you tell us a little bit about the Guinness World Record, just what it was, the whole experience basically?
So the fashion show was actually organized by Casa. Ramila Nemkul is the designer, and she wanted to kind of share sustainable fashion. See, the fashion industry, while it's, you know, fun and nice to look good and feel good, the fashion industry pollutes heavily towards the environment, which contributes towards climate change. And she wanted to challenge the industry for what it is right now and say, you know, you can look good, but you can also have clothing that's sustainable and biodegradable and not affect the environment negatively. So the fashion show, they thought, how can we get a big message out to the world? And they said, let's do it on Everest. So we trekked for 10 to 12 days and up to Kalapathar, which is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we had the fashion show up there. And
Great. So how did you become a part of this? How did you get involved?
So being a part of Miss Universe in 2018, you get to meet amazing women from all walks of life. I was invited by Miss Universe Nepal, Manita Devkota, who was actually top 10 at Miss Universe. And she asked me if I'd like to be a part of this. I wasn't sure, but I said yes.
Okay, so you said you weren't sure, right? What was your immediate reaction, your response to when you heard the words, do you want to be a part of this?
I like that you asked because see, I'm after 2 spine surgeries. I've got titanium rods and screws in my back. So climbing a mountain and doing a trek is not something my doctor nor my family would be happy with. But I like challenges and I always believe in trying something. I didn't know what would have happened. Maybe I would have made it, maybe I wouldn't have. But I liked the message. It was for climate change, it was about challenging existing systems. And I knew I was going to be with a Miss Universe sister. So I thought, let's see what happens.
Yeah, amazing. So how did you, obviously you have to be really careful, right? You cannot risk your health while although you want to do this amazing magnificent journey, but how did you talk to yourself? Like, what did you tell yourself to encourage yourself to go forward with it?
I do train on the regular with Kinetic Fitness, Tanuja and Hasita Raymond, so I have to keep my back strong. But coming closer to the trek, you know, we amped up our training. So I wore a backpack and I wanted to do my best to prepare. So sometimes in life when we have an opportunity, we don't just go at it. We have to prepare ourselves and we don't take it for granted. So I wanted to make sure I was ready for it. I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted to know I was going at it all guns galore.
So that was the physical part of the training, right? What was the mental part of the training? I mean, I'm sure you have your amazing sources of inspiration and your daily dose of motivation. Could you just talk to our viewers a little bit about the inspiration behind being a part of these wonderful journeys in life?
God has always been there for me. I mean, nothing I have done and this life I have, I couldn't have it without God, my family, the support they have given me to overcome from a young age my spine condition and my surgeries and my rehabilitation. So number one is thank Jesus and my family. And also when it comes to fear, the number one thing when we're faced with a challenge or a new thing in life, we're all afraid, and that's natural and that's fine. But how we translate that in our mind, so you can be afraid and still do something. You translate that fear to adrenaline, and that's how you get it done.
Amazing words there for you by Ornella Gunesekere, Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe 2018. Now moving on to your latest accomplishment, right? The Guinness World Record. I heard you mention that each and every day was more beautiful than the previous. Would you like to maybe tell our viewers a little bit about it?
100%. Like the views, the landscapes, there was ice, there was snow, there was sand, there was rocks, and there was the mountain ranges. Some days it was covered in snow, and the higher you went, like you could see actual formations of ice blocks. So they were actually waterfalls that had frozen, and it was crystal blue, beautiful. You could see through it, and the photos that we took just doesn't do justice to it, which is why I wish everyone can kind of get to experience the earth and how gloriously beautiful and magnificent it is. I mean, when you look at a mountain range and you can see some covered in just trees and the others covered in snow, and then the higher you went, you get to see everything. There was one day we were actually standing above the clouds. Can you imagine that?
Amazing.
I also have to though take this opportunity to share something, because we were given biodegradable trash bags to collect trash along the way. I didn't realize how much trash would actually be on the mountain, and it was very heartbreaking to see. I really encourage anyone, who gets to watch or listen to this, please don't litter. The earth is so beautiful. Our country, our earth, where we live, we have to take care of it. And I mean, we have been given such a beautiful gift from nature, and we have to just enjoy it, not destroy it.
Indeed, and I think those are words that we all have to live by. And okay, going back into the journey, I'm sure we're all a little curious, right, to know what was in your backpack and what each day was like. What was the food like? Where did you sleep, and all those things behind the scenes? If you could just maybe walk us a little bit through it.
So when we first started, the food was, we did get some chicken, and for the first time I tried yak meat.
Oh, how was it?
It was actually pretty good. I thought it would be tough, but they had made it like a stew, so it was quite soft. It was really yummy.
Great.
And the higher you went, because there's no electricity, and the only electricity is solar powered, so it's not as strong. You can't refrigerate, right? So we went on a more vegetarian diet, and we had to eat mungata. So that was really interesting, and there's so much protein in that. We were so strong. We had rice, ala tel dala, carrot. Yeah, that was mostly our diet. On the off chance, if we wanted snacks, they encouraged us to eat a lot of dried fruit for high bursts of energy, because walking 10 hours a day gets tiring.
Cannot imagine.
Sleeping in the nights, yep, you felt the full brunt of the winter, because we did trek in the winter. And some days it was minus 25, and at the worst it was minus 28. The sleeping bag did justice though. I mean, some days it was very hot because it's like a cocoon, right? So all the body heat gets trapped, and yeah, it was very good.
Okay, so what did you feel like each day, you're climbing up to basically the top of the world and a place that very few people have been to. What were the thoughts running in your mind each day as you did it? Like, these are places that people hardly go to.
Honestly, it's not something, and I've heard a lot of people have done it alone, but I couldn't have done it without our team. You do need someone to kind of go through this journey with you, and we had amazing people go on this trek. I had my friends from Miss Universe, Zara and Paula, who was my roommate. We shared stories, and just experiencing that beauty of nature, climbing to the top of the world, was just something that I'll never forget. And actually, my birthday was 3 days before the show, so I got to spend my 28th birthday at 4,400 meters. And
20th birthday to never forget.
Never forget, exactly.
Yes.
The experience is indescribable.
All right, so if you're curious and you really want to see what the whole journey was like, you mentioned that there's a documentary coming out.
Right. There's a 8-part documentary series done by a film crew from India, and they're going to show it this May on MTV in the US, Canada, and the Caribbean.
Okay, great. You can stay tuned for that and make sure you check it out because it's not something you should miss. All right, and also, so Ornella has tons and tons of titles. Obviously, I did not mention all of it because we only have so much time. And she's now a Guinness World Record holder, but she's also the toughest model in the world. Could you just tell us about, you mentioned that each day models kept dropping and you just continued on. What was that like?
I think a lot of us, including the team and the organizers of the event, they had no idea like how tough it would be until we actually got there, and we were like, okay, this is it. And the more we climbed, actually the first 3-4 days of the trek were actually the hardest. And then the final day, going up to where the fashion show was, that was just a 30 to 45 minute walk. But let me tell you, it was harder than all of it put together. It was so steep, it was literally like climbing up like Spider-Man. And yeah, it was very sad, and also mentally it affects you, right? When you see your friends who you've started this journey with, when they start, falling, you're like, can we continue? And you feel sad because can I go along, without them? But they text you whenever we had internet, and also after a certain point there's no internet, so it kind of cuts off the communication with the world. There's no support from your family, you don't get those messages, so it's like, okay, it's up to me now. I have to kind of push myself, we have to keep going. Then whoever is left over, we have to kind of boost each other up. We had our mentor, Pankaj, and every day he'd kind of motivate us. At the end of the day, he'll have a meeting and say, we got it tomorrow, guys, we can do it, it's the easiest part. He'll keep saying it's the easiest, it's not.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
right?
it's the worst one. But he'll do it just to motivate us, And we had to kind of push each other to get there because we didn't want to, let down everyone in the team.
Okay, and what would you tell yourself, when it gets really hard? Was there any point in the journey where you thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do it? Or did you always know that you were going to do it because of whatever strength and whatever inspiration that you have within you that you were blessed with?
I never take, I always think of it like this, take one day at a time. And I had this one thing going on in my head. In Nemo, it says, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So in my head, it was like, just keep climbing, just keep climbing. And I kept praying to God and committing our team every day. And I just went with each step, one step at a time, as we can all do in life. We can't think of the end. I mean, it's good to have the end in mind, but you can't just get there. You have to do the little steps first. They say the longest journeys is done with the first steps at the beginning, step by step.
All right, so it's been a memorable experience of beautiful journeys and beautiful destinations. Now, talking about the destination, the whole trek, you reached a certain point, right? The day of the fashion show, the runway. What was that like?
Honestly, I was so honored to be able to have worked with such an incredible team of models and organizers. We were just so happy just to celebrate different cultures, different people from all over the world coming for one goal and one mission, which is to wear sustainable garments, model it, and showcase, this is the message we want to share, change and challenge an existing system. Saying that, I want to encourage and challenge our young people in Sri Lanka to come up with ideas, not just for the fashion industry, it could be any industry. Come up with ideas that challenge plastic, or come up with something that will kind of be sustainable and not affect our environment. And there is a way, we can do it. I mean, we've done so many things we're so creative human beings, and sometimes as we grow through life, we lose our childlikeness, our creativity, our thinking, and I think we should keep that because that's how we can change things and save our world. This decade is all we have. And I know I'm going on about climate change, but it is something very important, and our young people really need to challenge existing systems and change this.
Indeed. And also, you said this is the only decade that we have, right, to make whatever changes possible. I've heard that you are a huge lover of animals. I'm sure we can also incorporate certain things into this decade towards their welfare.
100%, and I believe it's a top-down approach. Our policymakers, our government, they need to start by passing this animal welfare bill. And we as human beings, we're called the higher species, but I believe all animals are intelligent. Just because they can't express themselves in the same way we do does not make them any less. They love and they share, and they're as kind as we are, and we should love them. I have 5 dogs. Hi Jenna. She ran out of the house this morning.
Oh dear.
They're so lovable and cute, and I encourage everyone, to respect animals and give them the same rights as you would a fellow human being.
Indeed. So that is Ornella Gunesekere, Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe 2018, a holder of a Guinness World Record. She's also the toughest model of the world, and she has a lot of other amazing titles. And not only that, I think she can be defined as the epitome of beauty and brains, accompanied with so many other wonderful, beautiful things. And we at Chokolaate, along with our viewers and our readers and everyone, would like to wish you all the very best in all your future journeys, and we certainly hope that it leads to many, many more amazing destinations where you take Sri Lanka onto international heights. So all the best to you, Ornella, and thank you so much for being a part of today.
Thank you, Nitya, for the beautiful interview.